So, what can you tell us a little bit about what the closing was like in 2010 when you closed on the property, and what the specific agreement was at that time with PTS? Like, for example, you mentioned to me that they had promised you that they wouldn't develop the farm,
Yes.
that they would, in fact, close within 45 days. Could you talk a little bit about those terms and conditions and exactly what was agreed to in your at your closing in 2010?
The contract of sale said that we would close within 45 business days. That would have made it early in 2008. Well, we didn't close on the contract until a year later, which was later in 2008. And then we started negotiations on this lease back after the contract was signed. That took 3 years. They intended to give me a mortgage during that contractual period, just to keep me trapped. So they gave me a mortgage during the contract and said, oh, here's an 18% mortgage. We're going to give you $50,000. And the terms of that was 18%. Now, most mortgages are 5 to 7%, 3%, but never 18%. But I thought, oh, well, that's this, the seminary they're good people. They're treating me with kindness. We'll close in 45 days. Obviously, it did not happen. And so they trapped me with this 18% mortgage. I wanted to get out of the mortgage and the contract and the lease, which I was thinking I wanted to. It would have cost me thousands and thousands in attorney fees and lots of losses. I'd lose my farm. I'd lose the 10 years. I'd lose everything. And so I just kept going with it, thinking they were kind people, nice people, trusting people.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen that way.
So, how did you feel at that time? Obviously, the financial pressure of the loan and that sort of thing. How did you feel during that period?
Oh, I felt like I was in prison with them, like I couldn't get out. They were digging a deeper and deeper hole for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no way out of this contract with the seminary. I regretted it. Toll Brothers wanted to buy my land for millions of dollars. They're a big developer in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and I did not want the Toll Brothers to come in and develop my land. So I hung on with the seminary, thinking they're not going to develop the land. At least they told me they would build a chapel on the property. They told me they would have a street coming on the property, and they were just like trapping me with words that would never come true.
The things that we have talked about before was this issue of promising to preserve rather than develop the farm. Can you elucidate, tell us a little bit more about all the promises you received from
John Gilmore,
Princeton Theological Seminary?
they told me that, for the first 3 years of my lease back, that, this is a beautiful property. We want you to plant trees for our campus over the next several years. We want you to continue farming. They paid me money to plant trees. So they led me on that they were going to be farming with me. And I would be the person who would dig the trees for their campus, at the seminary and plant the trees and give me income. And that did not happen. So they said, because it did not happen, they said to me, one day, stop planting trees. Don't take care of your Christmas trees anymore. And I said to Herman Martinez and John Gilmore, what is happening? Why is that going on? And they just shook their head like this and said, no words came out of their mouth. That's what
Now,
happened.
It's still 2009. Did you have any inkling in 2009 that PTS was actually trying to misappropriate your farm? Did you have a feeling, or did you know, or did you trust them in 2009?
Oh, I trusted my lawyers, Stark and Stark, yes.
Okay.
And I trusted Stevens and Lee, Christopher S. Tarr at Stevens and Lee, that the negotiations were going good until I received Barbara Nelson's notes after the fact.
Do you have any idea at that time that they were working together to misappropriate your farm?
Absolutely. I found out after the fact that they were colluding.
When did you
together.
find out?
Not until after I got evicted later on. I found all this out, and then I met you. I found out more. So
Okay.
years went
So
by.
you really didn't know this was happening
No,
until basically ICM came in and we started looking through these documents. And I remember getting the phone call from you, and you told me, you said, "Hey, look at what I found. I had no idea." And so that's a really, really, really interesting thing that people have to understand, that as far back as 2009, without you knowing it, there were already plans to misappropriate your farm. Right. Tell us a little bit about what you found after the fact, about February 2009.
I found out after the fact that they are land grabbers. They are land schemers. They are land developers in Princeton. And it's a shame because they live under this veil of teaching ministers and pastors how to be ministers in churches across America. But there's another side to Princeton Seminary that most people don't know about, including me. I did not know they were land grabbers. So it's a shame that they've done this in Princeton many, many times.